Hello and howdy everyone, welcome back to Contenders for our EU region. My name is Crumble and I'm joined here by my lovely friend and wonderful co-host Gio for our match, versus Oblivione, in our round robin section of the season.
Yeah, the group stage continues, and these teams are two of the best teams and contenders in the EU region, and there's a reason for that. And both these teams have just come off a massive battle of their own, fighting 3-2 against their previous opponents. SR Peak Check for Ex Oblivione and Team Peps for so they are warmed up to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, at this high, there's a lot of players on Team Peps that are like playing in like the World Cup and stuff. So yeah, going 3-2 in a 5-map series against them, that's definitely something to be said about that. And obviously, these players, they needed a little bit of a while to cool down from these matches. You know, it's not like our previous series. We just casted Gio. It was probably likely very intense. So, I'm very excited to get into this. We saw Ex Oblivione on the mainstream on Contenders, and it looks like a very intense match, and I can't wait to see what we see from them so far. Here's our schedule. We have and Ex Oblivione as we see them today, and tomorrow. It's just so much Ex Oblivione. They're all over. They're all over everywhere. It's awesome.
All over it, yes. I will be covering those two matches on Tuesday alongside Quing, and it's going to be a big old Ex Oblivione journey. But right now, to focus in here to these teams, Ex Oblivione versus in the spring series, Ex Oblivione landed in second place, just behind Twisted Minds, and we're fourth place. So these are top four teams in EU, but there's a little bit of personal beef, Crumble, because Ex Oblivione had sent into the losers bracket in the spring series. So we just saw vengeance happen when Sheer Cold were defeated by the team that they eliminated from the playoffs. Now, potentially looking to do the same to Ex Oblivione.
Yeah, Ex Oblivione do have the upper hand. The current match history is 3-1. A lot of these rosters have cleaned house. Not really. They have a pretty much. I think they've maybe signed a couple more people on, but they've had a very similar roster for quite some time now. I'll have a look at that now. Got Chasm, Necros, Kaya, Abs, and I believe Hamp. We had a discussion about this. Not sure about the pronunciation.
So yeah, I keep saying, Chasm, Necros, and Hamp are veteran members of They have been on here since 2021, all the way back in yonder Overwatch 1, where there was 6 players on a side, and
Crazy.
you know that these players are they're legends in the field at this point, right? And they're going to be able to lead the rest of their team members, who I believe all stuck on from the spring series, and take it to Ex Oblivione, who, since the spring series, have kept on most of their players here, only picking up Chase Torch and Skaripa as new players, and Chase Torch is looking to come in, and that's a new tank player. So can Ex Oblivione continue their streak of getting to high levels like second place with a new tank player at the helm? Well, they had trouble in their last matchup, so did but is this going to go the distance? Is this going to be a 3-2?
I think so. I think we're looking at a 5-map series on our hands because we do have some legendary players. I mean, we have names like Maimon, who's obviously on the Team GB for World Cup. We have like Necros and Chasm, content creators in the big names in the Overwatch content creator space. So yeah, there's a lot on the line here, I think. And especially bit of a fun match for us opening up on Lijiang Tower. And there's plenty of ball opportunities for this map.
Heading to Lijiang Tower. It's a reminder. Last time these teams faced was in the playoffs in the spring series. EXO sending Oh Yeah into the lower bracket. Can that vengeance of Oh Yeah get the better of EXO today? Because these teams, they have a match history, but it's a little one-sided. EXO are 3-1 up in the history of these teams facing. And yeah, you said it. Very much a ball-centered map here on Lijiang. Even in Control Center, you can play it around the point. You don't need to play a classical kind of brawl that Ex Oblivione are coming out with. But look at that, Maimon on the Sombra. You got to imagine that this is prepped entirely for Chasm being on the Wrecking Ball here.
A lot of tools to make sure that that little hamster does not have a very good time at all. Already kind of just taking that Sombra ahead on not allowing them to get the hacks, really setting up in the back. And we see the front line, without a ball, you've got to rely on that Mei to hold your front line together, as well as just having that output of Junkrat damage. You're expecting to see that come through. And yeah, Kaya doing a lot on the side of Arya, already picking up 2 kills, making this a 3v5 situation, which heavily favors Arya, and there we go. The ball rolls that way, and the point goes in the favor of Arya.
Yeah, you mentioned that they didn't have their ball in that fight. The reason for that is Chasm was search and destroying the translocator of Maimon, which is what allowed the rest of Oye to get that elimination onto them. Oh no, this Mei's completely alone.
Yeah, gets caught out early. And with the ball, you do get a lot of stalling potential. So if this fight does tend to go in the way of EXO, the ball can stall for plenty of time, but that hack is going to really take Chasm's health and chunk it down quite a lot. The point flip does go in favor of EXO, but not with many picks in their name.
Yeah, Kaiser being a little bit out of position there on the Mei, got followed up on, even with that ice block, Ex Oblivione. We're going to have Maimon looking for this EMP, and you imagine that the targets there, they're going to be Chasm, they're going to be potentially the backline, anyone that they can collapse on or stop the momentum of.
There goes the stick. Good immortality field is going to keep that Baptiste alive. There's the EMP. It found 2 there. Finds the Baptiste, and that's a lot of the sustain gone from the side of Oya. So going to be struggling to keep the Mei up, and the Junkrat too, as well as that Zenyatta. They do have the Transcendence if they want to go for some more sustain, but with the point control just ticking away, they might as well regroup.
Yeah, that Pulse Bomb was all designed to get the Immortality field out so that the EMP could get its value. Ex Oblivione are going to have now to sustain, but Kaya always finding these entry picks.
That's exactly what you want. You want Kaya to be able to open things up nicely from that initial spam. You can follow up on the damage that the Junkrat is so good at supplying. Beat is going to be used by EXO. It's a 45 situation, but one that they're willing to take. They have bomb as well. They want to keep their diva going, pressure out on the backline as much as possible. But that Mei is really going to be ticking down your health with that cryo freezer. Going to use the bomb, takes out the Mei. So it's quite back and forth at the moment. Arn's still alive in the back as well. That Tracer to stall things out. Maimon is back on the Sombra as well. And now things are looking desperate for Arya as they have to kite back again. EXO, just the sustain and the stall, so good.
Yeah, EXO's comp is designed for that. You pick the diva for a reason. It's a slower way of playing than the Winston or the Wrecking Ball. And Chasm gets caught out. 90% on the board for EXO, and you've just lost your tank. It's a disaster for Oh Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even like they have a Tracer who's going to be able to touch very well. And we do see the Ana falling, which is a great turn here for Oya if they can make it happen. But Maimon has the EMP, and the follow-up is there. Vastola has found one. Without the break there or the Mei, there's not a lot of CC that is going to really pressure out Vastola too much. Mind's placed down to point. They're going to force EXO to not be able to stall. But they just go for your backline. If you leave the point, then that's where they're going to go, and it seems that the picks are going to be cleaned up here by EXO, is it? It's 99% and counting. Doesn't look likely for Arya.
Yeah, and Kaya can find as many entry eliminations as they have, and it's just not going to work out when you've lost your ball at that crucial time, when it's getting to 90% and you need to be touching. But, oh yeah, they're definitely finding some struggle against Ex Oblivione. And heading into Night Market, we saw Ex Oblivione against SR Peak Check, and they played the Wrecking Ball, and they put Maimon onto the the Farah and took to the skies, and that worked really well for them. That won them that series. But
Yeah.
was that maybe specifically for SR Peak Check? Are they going to continue to play the Sombra because they know Chasm is going to be on the ball, and it does look like it. Maymoon sticking to the Sombra, and this time with a Tracer to boot.
See, this is a map which is much more well suited for the ball here. You know, you have a lot more options, and it's much more open map where ball can kind of survey the land a little bit better, but a hack will force Chasm back. And EXO, they know exactly how to deal with this ball pick, and this might be a caveat of having a player known for such a specific hero, is that you don't really have a lot more adaptation as much as you'd like, where we've seen Vistola play the Diva, play the Ramattra, good boop there, clean up the kill onto Kaiser, as Oye have to walk back yet again.
Oblivione, they look studied. They know, oh yeah, they know what oh yeah's players going to do. We talked about oh yeah being, such a legendary team of legendary players. One of the problems, like you mentioned, is that means these players are known. The heroes they play, the way they play, is known by other teams, and they can prepare like this.
Yeah, Kai getting caught out early. They do have, I mean, the ball still does have good stay-making abilities, but you wait for that ball to collapse on your core, you slit, you hack, you kill, and Chasm falls very early again. Vistola really is a key play here, just keeping EXO running smoothly, operating so well.
Yeah, they're operating like a smooth criminal right now. And oh yeah, they really need to cuff him and get something done here, find value. And they've really stuck Kaya on the Junkrat, and I just don't think it's going to work here. The tight corridors are gone, it's all open. And I'm sure Kaya can prove us wrong, but they just seem to be struggling to find value here.
And here comes the EMP. And the follow-up is good from Vistola. Manages to find the Brigitte very early on. Has forced the lamp as well. We've seen that Kanel often gets traded out, often by Kaya as well, who seems to be going on these off angles and find the Ana. But, I mean, you get one pick, and for what? I mean, you charged up an EMP faster than any ultimate on Aye's side, so I think that really says it all, Gio.
I mean, yeah, they're being staggered out as well. Hot Babe is going to get down. Not exactly sure. These players are on some other accounts by the looks of it. It's 87%, 90% to completion here, and they don't have too many. They're coming up to this Blizzard. If they can get Kaiser onto the point, then they can get that Blizzard down, but getting there is the issue.
Yeah, Chasm is on point, and that's what you like about the ball. You can get on point nice and quickly, but the nano boost onto the backline, and that's the Baptiste taken out swiftly and surgically as usual. Kaya alone in desolate lands where only they seem to be existing, and Chasm's still on the point, got the point control, but at what cost?
Yeah, it's exactly like we saw in Control Center where they got the point, but because Oblivione understood they didn't even need to be on the point, they were just able to keep the rest of the team at bay. And so far, Oblivione seem like they have read, oh yeah, they've read that book from chapter to chapter, start to finish, back to forth. They understand what oh yeah are going to be doing, and if that keeps up for the rest of the series, EXO are on track to having a very dominant victory.
Yeah, I mean, they do obviously have an alternative tank player, which is Theomatic, maybe looking to have a more variety of tanks. I mean, not that the ball can't work. We did definitely see Chasm creating a lot of space, but when a team is so well prepared for it, and you're not offering anything else, you're not putting anything else on the table, it's very difficult. And, I mean, we're talking about Chasm, but obviously Kaya as well on the Junkrat didn't really find a lot. Found a lot of opening picks on Control Center, but Control Center is the Junkrat map of Overwatch 2, and you can see here, I definitely did do quite a lot on the backline. Very quick clip there. Nice boop as well. I mean, Oblivione, they just seem very, they're very knowledgeable of what they're playing. They know how to play these standard compositions well.
I mean, Maymo, not only are they such a high-class player, but they're very flexible as well in what they can bring to the table. There's very few characters I've ever seen them play where they're not playing at like the highest possible level that you can imagine. And sticking Maimon on the Sombra is just such a great way of at least disrupting Chasm from what they want to do, and that is the disruption. It's disrupting the disruption, which means there's no disruption. The
Cancel
word is
out.
disruption.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
disruption.
Well, I mean, they had a lot of CC, right? And when they were playing the Casti as well, I mean, what can Chasm do? You throw the nade, you hack, you sleep. There's not much you can do as a ball in that situation. So if we move on to a map that maybe still is supplying something from the ball, you'd want to see. I can't quite remember our map pool, but you'd want something similar, obviously, to something like Lijiang Gardens. There's lots of open spaces, good spots to maneuver around. We'll have to see when we go into our second map if want to maybe switch in thematic if they want to combat Exo's just preparedness in any way.
Well, I mean, there's options, right? You know, they're not stuck here, and they're not a team that you often get stuck. I mean, again, they're a top 4 team from the spring series, and they're just coming off a massive battle like EXO have as well, where they've faced, losing a map and then coming back, right? These teams are not scared of losing a map, right? They're not going to crumble under that pressure, no offense. We are actually we are actually having some substitutions. Isaac is coming in for Chasm. So you are right, they are going to swap Chasm out. I think Oyev maybe recognized that EXO have just understood and read the playbook of and what they're going to be able to do with Chasm.
Yeah.
And we're going to be heading to Midtown, the Big Apple from EU to NA. And this is going to open a lot of opportunities up to still play the kind of somber composition, but also kind of, flex onto playing. We see lots of teams like either the Ash or the Hanzo, and that can be very good against the chokes here on first point Midtown, and there's lots of long ranges on second and third point as well. So it I wouldn't put it past teams to kind of swap up here to go towards like a sniper DPS to complement the ensemble.
Yeah, I think Ash is probably a good call, as would the Sojin be. Or
Junkrat.
Yeah, I was about to say, why not throw in Junkrat,
I mean, kind of did well on the control center there, right?
On one of the only good Junkrat maps in the game at a high level, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
but Junkrat players, yeah. they know how they know like ways to play on particular maps, and I do actually think Midtown first point can play into Junkrat on defense. However, getting poked out by the like of Cookie, who's going to be able to follow up on the damage of a pocketed Maimon, who's going to be taken to the sky. Basically, it's the support line who will be counteracting that pocketed Echo, the Ana Bap, which that's a very heavy healing backline, but also it doesn't have a lot of utility.
Yeah, not a lot of utility, and with having that Zarya, when you don't have the speed boost from the Lucio, you've got to be scared of getting caught out in the open in that position if you're Isaac. So we'll have to see, and especially going up against John Queen, who's known for just being quite a sustaining brawling tank. Once they go to head, we'll have to see how it plays out.
Isaac is going to have to play a little slow, but so well, this Junker Queen. Doesn't matter, those are going in deep.
Yeah, getting the honor differential as well, you love to see, and this is what I'm talking about. You don't see that health bar really falling too down low. Just getting all that passive healing in for Stola on this Junk Queen, and looks like already Oblivion continuing this momentum.
Yeah, and Vistola is going to have just a bit of an advantage against Isaac, because I mean, as far as I understand it, Isaac is a support player for and they are flexing currently onto the Zarya, but like you say, they're going to struggle without the Lucio. They're going to get caught out in places. However, they're finding value in this kind of skirmish, and they're actually going to get the momentum onto their side, moving into second point. Or not.
I mean, we were talking about Ash, and tuning in on the main broadcast, we saw Cookie on the Sojin do absolutely insane things. We also see the copy coming out there, help them push forward a little bit. Oblivion now finally taking the map, controlling the space. Going up, trying to pressure out the Ashe, but there goes the nano boost onto the Zarya. Lots of damage, but that beam, just a bit of a beam differential, I guess, Joe. Seems like it.
Beam diff. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. I mean, Maimon with this pocket is just letting it rip, and this second point is so open and creates so many opportunities for the Echo to find that value that we're seeing. I mean, landing those stickies, which is something Maimon is not scared of doing, is just so much damage. Isaac is crumbling under that pressure. There it is again, because Cookie... Oh, well, they went down.
Well, we froze the Cookie and put it in the freezer. Kaiser taking out Cookie nice and early. They don't have a Bob to, keep that final, point stay maybe towards the end. And they're actually kiting back all the way into the defender's position almost. They've still got the high ground in their favor, but pushing in with the Blizzard, trying to catch any members off guard, doesn't really find anything, and a bit of an ult down the drain. Bob now comes out as the Grav as well. Nano Boost has been applied onto Isaac. Now is where you can apply the pressure. Really start doing as much damage as you think you can, but you can't because those sidelines, like we've said, for the Ashe and the Echo, it's just too much damage to even handle.
Now, there is a lot more here to play around for Isaac. On that first point, you can get caught out quite easy. But, there's lots of cover for Isaac to play around, and that's why they're kind of just basically controlling this high ground. If anyone comes up, they just get forced out by just the raw damage that the Zarya gives them.
Yeah, eyes on this copy here from Maimon going into this fight. We see the tide coming out from Kaya. Does manage to find Crispy on that Mercy. So Maimon going to be quite stranded in this fight and taking the damage. You can see how that comes into effect. Nano Boost applied, though. They're saying, no, Maimon, I'm not giving up on you. Here's the resources you need to pop off. Found the Baptiste, looking for Kaya as well on that Junkrat. Is going to actually end up copying the Junkrat, forcing the Cryotic Freeze as well from the Mei. And just still gets forced back. So it seems just like at the moment, EXO just struggling to take that last step on second point.
Yeah, because, if you go inside, you have to deal with Kaya. You take this high ground, you're needing to play around the Zarya and Maimon. Just, you can see they're struggling either way. And a lot of that was down to the fact that you lose your Mercy first, right? The one character that can't be rezzed.
That was an exit rampage trying to get out. Didn't manage to do it. That is unfortunate. But yeah, I think
time to swap the tank line here to perhaps like a Monkey, because you're really struggling to get in. They're gonna go swap to the Zarya, and yeah, that is probably going to have a little bit more punching power than the Junker Queen. Junker Queen's more self-sustaining, but the Zarya is going to be able to pack more punch. Isaac, however, does have the Graviton Surge.
Yeah, Maimon, careful of that Zarya. Looking to push the point just a little bit. Lost a lot of progression on this point push. And just teasing that high ground. Isaac gets nano boosted. Was low, no longer. Looks to push in. Throwing those right clicks down at the back line. Catches off Maimon. A great call there. Kaya has managed to find Maimon way more times than a Junkrat should have. And a Junkrat showing their way in tier 2 play is what we love to see. Finding 3 so far in this fight.
This is the most EU composition.
So EU. Like Junkrat, loads of heals, a Zarya for no reason. Yeah.
But yeah, Kaya's really finding stride here in second point. I think they kind of got overran on first, but now they're still going to Monkey. The reason why I think this is a good idea is because you just go fast and hard into this backline, and once that immortality field is gone and you force to sleep, you can really just have your way. You don't have that that classical main support that helps keep the other support really alive in those instances.
I really like Cookie on this Hanzo as well. Hopefully serves a lot of damage. But, I mean, Isaac is actually charging up these grabs about every minute and a half, and the amount of damage that Zarya can do once that Monkey does jump on, there's a lot that can collapse on it.
Yeah, and they'll be pushing into another Kaya tire. Don't even know where Kaya is at the moment. Actually, no, they're hiding there on the stair line.
In the Netherworld.
For it, yeah. And immediately, yeah, this is going to open it up and going to force them to think about where they're rotating.
Early. Oh, I was about to say as well, an early pick would be detrimental on an Arno or something like that, but Kai's going to get one anyway. Finds Maimon, so with that...
Can't touch!
Trace it. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Kaiser.
Well, there you go.
That's my exact reaction, Isaac. Um,
Well, it was the
yeah,
wall. That was not a
it was the
C9.
wall. Yeah, no, it
The
wasn't a scene. No.
the wall combined with the blizzard essentially stopped them from touching. And the thing is, right, if you want to push this point, it's in a tunnel, and you're up against Kaya, who is on the Junkrat. You're up against May, and I think Ex Oblivione, where they look like they had pretty much read the entire Oh Yeah handbook. Turns out there was a new edition
Yeah,
that was released, and they didn't know. No one told them.
I'm told.
They didn't know. And oh yeah, have brought out this kind of very heavy healing, pocket the Zarya and let the DPS go wild type composition. And Ex Oblivione, they're going to meet it with a Ramatra Brawl composition of their own, a little bit more traditional here with the Cassidy and the Lucio. Lucio is going to give them the speed that Oya doesn't have, and with that speed, they can use it to collapse on the backline. So that's something that's
Ooh.
very much capable. Oh,
I don't think the pigeon's capable of eating all that pizza.
Oh, it's a New Yorker pigeon could probably
It's a New
eat that.
York. Yeah, that is true. They're a different breed.
New Yorker. Hey.
Not like our London pigeons over here, but yeah, coming out here, no differences for our yeah. But like you say, that speed boost is really going to be the key factor. And Isaac has switched onto something a little bit more interesting, Gia. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, the Roadhog is something I was just expecting to
Full
not
confidence
happen.
walking through.
Yeah, but the thing
love
is,
it.
like, Cookie needs to be careful. Cookie is the one that's probably going to get them hurt the most here.
Kaya seems to open things up as usual, and that's the one good thing. You know, both the sports get eliminated. Wait, hold on.
What is happening?
What is?
They're actually going to get attacked from this.
That is ridiculous.
Okay.
That is so unbelievably stupid.
The Roadhog just walks past everyone and gets attacked. Of course they. Why? Because why wouldn't they? Crumble. Why wouldn't
not?
they just do that? Yeah.
Why not? Sticking it as well. I appreciate that.
The scary thing was Kaya got a pick, so part of you is thinking is like they're not going to win here with their Roadhog just walking on the point, are they? They are keeping it. In fact, they've added a Zen, so now Vistola needs to play a lot more careful because of that Discord orb.
Okay, well, looks like to kind of sit there at the choke, just poking and prodding for now. As now Isaac looks to walk in, hooks in Maymone, forced to use that cryogenic freeze. We see the annihilation coming through, trades going back and forth, but that Discord orb is a little bit too much for the Ramatra. And in this wacky turn of events, I mean, I think broke our feed just by how goofy that composition is. I think they broke it themselves.
Yeah, they actually shut down the Overwatch servers. It's over. The OPR went down. Yeah, Isaac and Hot Babe, who I'm not sure who it is because these players are on different accounts, are really just they've thrown a wrench to this entire thing because that Discord orb is supposed to swap. Now onto the Orisa. We're going completely off the rails here, and Isaac's found another elimination.
You're joking. You're joking. I mean, the thing about this is that Ex Oblivione, they're like, okay, we're prepared for the ball. And then Aya are like, okay, well, we're going to throw the manual out the window. Here comes the whole hog. It's just the pure confidence, just jumping off the high ground with the whole hog. It does get taken out, but they're still getting this cart pushed bit by bit here on Midtown, second point. Ex Oblivion, they've switched over to the Orisa to maybe counteract that hog, that hog a little bit more.
The sneak, it's leveled.
Hot
Babe's there as well.
Anti-nade though, careful. Does get the trap, but yeah, they have to reset here.
Okay, they're a little confused about the mechanics of getting speared in an ice block, but I mean, that's just spear fishing for you. Isaac has went back onto the Zarya, and that's, I mean, now Vistola's going to struggle, right? Because that Zarya beam counteracts a lot of how Orisa wants to play, and Orisa can't really fly away like a diva can.
Yeah, cuts right through the javelin spin, but here goes the nano, and that on has been squished, swatted like a fly. trying to catch that Mei right out of the ice block there, and Maymon finishing up the kills nicely on Tracer. And now we're seeing Oblivione, they're finally managing to counteract this wizardry that is Oye.
Yeah, off the back of that nano, but a nano of their own for Oye. Is this going to get the value? Vistola's health is plummeting.
They do have the Terror Surge, they want to use it, but I mean, that's the thing about the Zarya is that it, you know, without that speed boost like Vistola has, you just can't fall up as easy.
That is true, and once you get around the corner like that, your Zen doesn't have the sightlines that gives the Zenyatta so much power. And you are right, Terror Surge is ready, but is it going to be combined with a High Noon to try and get them into a bad position so that High Noon can follow up? I'm trying to think where the value is for this Terror Surge.
Yeah, well, hey, if all goes awry, they have the beat to sustain them. But Vistola falls so early that you can't really react to that. Kaiser has been cleaning up kills so far in this series and does not disappoint here as we approach our checkpoint here on Midtown. Next Oblivione, they've got all to play here.
EXO are backing up. They understand that they need to get this next fight, and they do have the tools to keep it up. However, if they lose someone to Kai's tire, that would be the disaster. That the point, guys. What?
Oh.
What? No. No.
Okay,
point.
I know exactly what happened there. Maymon did actually, like, went to touch, but got Maywalled and was on top of the Maywall. We'll pull up the replays.
Even still,
I don't know. Even still, they were cutting it way too close.
That was
well. I mean, hey, we're even out in this series. Clearly, two very different teams. You know, EXO looking for that methodical analysis. Oh, are we gonna? Oh, okay, we're just getting some highlights here.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a close up of the C9. I don't know, but that was not the way that Oblivion wants to finish that map. They had Terra Surge. They had ways of winning that fight.
This is my favorite replay. This is my favorite replay ever. I love it.
Yeah, there's certainly there's chaos in the air, and I think it's exactly what Oye needed, because Oblivione had read their traditional strategy and understood
very
it.
Heavy quotation marks.
And kind of counteracted it, where you throw a Roadhog in the mix in Midtown, and all of a sudden they're C9ing, they're giving up ticks. It's confusing, and it seems like are the team that enjoy that chaos, right? And when chaos is in the air, that's when they can equalize the series, and that's what they've done. But from Midtown to Circuit Royale, back to Europe as we go to Monaco. Now, this is a map that's all about long sight lines, right? So, is Kaya going to still be on the Junkrat? You imagine no is the logical answer, but you never know. So that's a great thing about these teams, is you truly don't know what you're going to get. But you have to imagine that Kaya's either going to get subbed out or they're going to swap, because ultimately there's limited things, even if you're going for Mimi Comp, that a Junkrat can get done on Circuit Royale. And I have information that Hampe is on Cool Boy and Abs is Hot Babe.
Yeah, I was going to say that because I did tune into Hampe's stream and in their match against, I believe, Team Peps, and they were, and I saw the account name in the bottom left being Cool Boy. I was like, that's interesting. Moving on to Circuit Royale, there's a player that I think is definitely going to be in the kill feed a lot more often, and that is Cookie. Has shown us great things already on the Asher. We've seen their plays in the previous series on the mainstream, on the Sojourn. Definitely a lot of potential in this player. Maymon, Hanzo, even any hit scan roll as well, put them on it. They'll do absolute wonders. So I'm looking forward to mainly the DPS line on the side of EXO to really show off here.
So the defense here, and yep, Love is coming in to get some action, and looks like they're deciding on going for the Hanzo. So there will likely be, if Oblivione keep it, that Hanzo mirror. And it's all about how these Hanzos position those kind of recon arrows and get those scouting areas of each other to try and, outduel each other. Isaac versus Vistola on the tank. Now, I'm not as familiar with Isaac's tank as I am Vistola's. I know Vistola is a very solid Sigma player, so the tank line here might be in the favor of Oblivione as they come out here with a Sombra Hanzo.
It is interesting because you normally want something that can collapse on a target that's been hacked, and even with EMP as well, it's hard to set up an EMP and push in with it when you have a very immobile composition. So we'll see how that plays into it. Maybe they're just looking for a little bit more pressure instead of another angle. And already, your words are singing in my ears here because Vistola so far is dominating the space as Sigma.
Yeah, really demanding that space and allowing Cookie to get the better of things so far. Love, though. You have to watch out for this retaliation.
Hey, Kaiser. Kaiser's still there. Does get traded out, though, by Cookie. Will be Love on that Hanzo. Seeing to getting the better side of the Hanzo deal so far. Got to be careful there, Maimon, getting detected. And good stall, though, here from Yes. They're waiting for a little bit of a regroup.
That rock missed and it went and hit a pedestrian over on the cliff there, but it didn't hit anyone from Oblivione as this fight continues to just be a poke battle, and the Zenyatta's gonna open it up, finding that Mei.
It's a good opener as well. You don't have to worry about those pesky Mei walls anymore. You can walk in nice and freely, and that is what we are seeing Vistola do. They use the window as well, doing a lot of damage. And you see Isaac is really taking the brunt of it. They use the Transcendence to try to keep themselves alive, but even through that, Isaac is taking so much damage. They have the EMP, they want to use it. They're casting it down, but Kaiser is back and has traded out a couple lives to their teammates. But yeah, I think all is said and done here.
The Blizzard? Okay, surely, I imagine they're going to be going for a swap there. But that was incredible stuff from the backline of Oblivione, because it was Canale, it was Crispy finding the first free eliminations there, and that's exactly what you have when you go for a Baptiste Zenyatta, right? It's exactly what you're looking for. Now, Kaiser hasn't swapped, which means that, you're probably now wishing you held on to that Blizzard because there was no one that was going to follow up on it after you had been taken out. Vistola, though, has this Gravitics Flux, going to be looking to set it up real soon.
And Zen doesn't have the Transcendence Geo, so that makes it even more detrimental. Yeah. Has to force the lamp, which means that now Exo can really start applying the pressure. Window, they can just walk right through that. They've got a Transcendence there to keep them in. They're just forcing the side of back so damn much. Cookie did full, and Kaiser's done a great job at holding things together, finding trades, has used the ice blocks, and now will find their life in the grave 6 feet under. And it doesn't look like a stall is available from possibly? No. Doesn't look like it. As we move on to that point.
Oblivione secured themselves that second point, and they were rolling into third, and Vistola is not letting go off the pedal. It is keeping it going, and you want to control the space. You want to be proactive with it. Oblivione have this EMP. Now, in terms of it's not really going to be used in terms of like a dive, right? Because you can. It's likely going to be used to counteract an aggressive move from So if like Kaiser goes too deep,
or here's the alternative, Joe. You look for one pick. The core of healing, which is that Baptiste, is going to get traded out. Love finds Crispy, which is really good news here for They pretty much wasted this EMP on behalf of Exo. They used the Dragon as well, not allowing them to kite back through that corridor. Really good stuff there from the side of
Yeah, I was surprised there, but able to hold in despite not having their Baptiste, and they're in a very solid position here in terms of their arsenal. Isaac has this gravitic flux, and again, Canale doesn't have the Transcendence ready, so Isaac's probably looking to use this ultimate next fight.
Did you see Maimon picking up a kill onto the Zenyatta, so that's a good way to open things up. That Discord orb being gone is always a nice alleviation Love does trade it out, though, so we're seeing trades come from either side. 4v4 situation. They use the window. They want to not allow these sight lines for, yeah. Just looking for that payload progress, but it is a struggle, especially when you don't really have as much stronger spam. It's hard to walk in because you have that Sombra, right? You only have one angle on your DPS.
True, but you're creating disruption. The hack!
Ooh, Maymone, I'm sorry I ever doubted you. You pick up a kill, you hack out the Graphitics Flux as well. Just so much good stuff. Vistola does go down, though, so you're down your tank there, and your shield isn't present, so Love has managed to find Crispy as well, so that's Eris can fly as much as they like, and a reset is forced as EXO is struggling to make their way into third point.
Yes, they are. But now is a brilliant hack, and it's exactly what I was meaning. It's the disruption of the Echo, and they're going to look for the CMP very shortly. But can Nail get the Transcendence off for it is the main question.
I have to see. It's a big ult bank here for EXO. Looking for the EMP is Maymone. Gets shot out of the invis. Is looking for that Hanzo pinging them. Ready to set up for the EMP. Just patience. Here it comes. 3 found on cart. Take out the Mei nice and early. And again, we do see Love using the Dragon to not allow the repositioning so that they can follow up on that EMP. It's been used incredibly well. We see the Zen pick up a couple kills as well on the side of Arya. And we're really seeing how this Sombra, although very good at finding picks and creating space, I mean, the spam from Arya is just simply more present.
And so far, it's a very good attempt to bring down this time bank. It's been 2 minutes now for you're getting to that 90-second and below point, and Oblivione are struggling to find an entry onto this top high ground that they've been trying for a few times. Crispy under attack here, Isaac.
Oh, come on. They're not letting them make any progress here. They're just trying to rotate. Could you leave them alone?
Isaac.
Oh my, we were talking about Vistola on the Sigma. Holy smokes.
I mean, I did say I wasn't too sure of what Isaac was capable of, but I'm certainly getting a good picture of it now. They're capable of a lot.
Are we sure?
Yeah, we'll have to check the books on that one. But, you know, we're below a minute now. Oblivione are starting to really build up a core of these ultimates. They want to be forcing out Abs Transcendence, however, who's on a... where on earth is Abs?
Looking for that sneaky classic Zenyatta flank, of course, Gio.
They've not seen them.
Not seen them.
What? I don't understand it, but I'm so intrigued by it.
I'm also quite intrigued by it. But the front line, that battle is definitely going on as well. We see Vistola somewhat getting the better of Isaac, who has to force to use their cooldowns to try get out. Blizzard used as well, trying to force them away from being able to rotate onto that back high ground. They use the Transcendence to be able to do so, but Love is there, bow and arrow at the ready, not allowing them to claim their space. Cookie is there, evens things out, but I gotta say, Gio, oh yeah, holding in so damn strong on third point. It is extremely impressive.
Yeah, I mean, they took that chaotic way of playing and they brought it here to the third point. And they brought this time back down from 3 minutes all the way down to 0, and they are going to secure this one. I mean, player by player is going to be able to touch, but it's all over on that third point. And it's not over for Oblivione. They can hold in another point and still win this map out. However, it puts Oye in an incredible position where they're only needing to get around those first 2 corners of that third point, and then that's it. That's them secured. The issue is, though, a lot of how they were able to hold was the way that they were able to grasp onto that high ground, and part of that could be down to, you know, holding onto the Sombra for too long. Maybe the Sombra was too much utility and not enough firepower to get through those chokes. That's a potential. But either way, the way that Oye was playing, I mean, you saw where Abs was in that final fight. You don't prepare for that. You don't scrim Zenyatas that hide in your backline when you're on the attack in Midtown, right? That's not something that is just easily prepped for.
Stop talking. Let's just enjoy this moment.
A nice chill summer moment.
Okay, back to the video game.
A chill summer moment in the Summer Series here. in the kickoff day of Contenders. Oh yeah, ex Oblivione. Both 1-0, having won 3-2. Now 1-1 here in Circuit Royale. Mimon's still on the Sombra. Can ex Oblivione hold in and stop the tide of chaos that is, oh yeah, that have not swapped off the Lifeweaver?
They are ready for Maimon, by the way. They are spraying and praying for that Sombra to be taken out. Applying pressure well, but not as pressure as an arrow. Unfortunately, getting taken out there by Cookie and already showing us great stuff here on the Hanzo.
Yeah, Cookie got that crazy headshot there onto the Widow, which is already swapped. And yeah, forced off of their little silly goofy haha entry comp, and they are going to go back onto a bit more of their regular stuff that we've seen. And again, if you get up and close, this Mei is able to lock you down.
Chuck a man with a bow and arrow in an oven at 250 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes. What do you get? This man on the Hanzo absolutely tearing it apart. And it is, they're not able to get in at all, Gio. And it is very much in the favor of the fact that the Hanzo and the Sigma on the side of EXO are doing so well.
My heart skipped a beat at the beginning of whatever you were saying there. I was very concerned where I was going. But Pistola needed to be more concerned about their own safety. Gets taken out by Love. An opportunity has risen here for Oye.
Oh, yeah, it has indeed. And we're going to see EXO, they just kite back as much as they can because they just want to be able to re-enter this fight as a 5v5.
And they're looking to secure this one, ex-Oblivione. They're coming up to EMP, though, as Maimon is just disrupting in the back line. Potential here for ex-Oblivione to push back this aggression.
Window used. What are you trying to...
Protected.
Gotta be careful. They're looking for that EMP.
Yeah.
It is very careful, difficult to get in there. You're gonna have to use the Flux first, and without a Zen anymore, there's no Transcendence, but the follow-up isn't quite there from the side of EXO. Now window from as they look to really punish Vistola's positioning. They use the EMP to possibly bait Vistola out of this situation, but there's a nano boost that has been applied. We see it go onto Isaac, and good sleep onto Maimon. The Honor still alive in the backline of You committing the Flux as well? What? I really don't know about that. I mean, the Honor's still alive, Gio. I don't know how Abs is still alive in this fight. This kept things going pretty damn well.
Back up.
Oh! You're joking.
Yeah, that was nice there. Now Crispy on the run, and I don't think there's going to be a touch. They're going for it. They do secure it. Well? Double dragons. No one goes down.
There's no ults that are quite online yet, so it's going to be a dry fight so far. Coming back on the Ryan Isaac. Yeah, got to be careful of that Hanzo sitting on the high ground. Maimon opens things up, takes out Kaiser. That's a lot of that stalling possibilities really taken out of this fight. As it looks like, are forced back, and it's a good window. They are sealing the deal on this one, and they hold in on first.
That was a risk to swap to the Ryan, and it did not give reward, and Isaac's going to have to swap back, and at a very crucial time, meaning Isaac is not going to be anywhere near their ultimate for this final fight. Kaiser is going to be able to get a good Blizzard off. They need to get onto point to get the most value out of it, however.
Here comes Blizzard. Thrown into the back. Really good positioning for that. They're going to be able to take out the tank on the side of EXO. It's a 4v5 situation, and they don't really have anything in their back pocket. Maybe the EMP, but Love is really going to just kill the Sombra. Just shoot an arrow in their head, because why not? But yeah, they're going to cap first nicely and move forward, but not without a struggle.
Yeah, that was the issue, right? You had to play that very carefully, knowing that the Blizzard was there, and the way that Kaiser used it, just chucked it into the back line, and there was no way to really help it out. On second point, however, Maimon has held on to the EMP, so that's going to be the condition here. Maimon's going to be in the back line looking for this setup.
Yeah, and if a good EMP can be cast and some amount of follow-up in this composition can find some picks off it, then that can really help not allow Oya to snowball. Get a good hack. They forced this immortality field. Now is the time to use this EMP. They chuck the nano onto the Baptiste. And here comes the EMP. It finds 3. They need to look for this follow-up. And there it is. They find the Mei. And they're looking for the front line. Isaac, so much damage coming through. Gonna use the dragon from the side. Triforce them into an uncomfortable position. But EXO, they're ready for it. And they're looking smooth and buttery here as they turn things around.
Yeah, that was perhaps a bit of a misplacement on where that nano ended up for Abs. Perhaps that's why they had so much struggle there. And then, of course, the EMP comes through to secure it. Oblivione are going to have the massive benefit of this high ground. And you combine that with the fact that they're going to have Crispy's damage amplification matrix up at any point is going to be devastating for the attacking squad.
Comes Transcendence. They do not have a Transcendence online. Oh, you're joking. They don't have a Transcendence, but the Zen will take you out anyway, I guess. Yeah, Love is going to even things out, though. Takes out Crispy on the Baptiste. And you've got to be careful with the Zen. Really pressuring out Love. Actually forced the immortality fill, I believe. I mean, so much on the Zen.
You just have to be careful how high you go when you're Sigma against this anti-air. A massive lob into the backline.
Yeah, it does manage to cap plenty off guard. And yeah, so far, Kaze has been great on this Mei. And has really been proving a point that even though it's not a map where we think it work, it can.
Well, they are going to secure it, but there isn't a whole lot of time. They moan.
Yes,
they're doing it. Going to go for it.
The EMP. They're going for it, Gio. I do not believe it. They go in with the EMP. They find the follow-up. They have a Gravitic Flux at the ready. And Maimon, an absolute hero for the side of EXO, coming in at the last second with that EMP. A great stall. Definitely making up for Midtown there.
I wasn't prepared for it, and neither was Maimon devastating the field there with a massive EMP, and the retouch was oh so close to not coming in. Beautiful. Chef's kiss there. Oblivione, they hold on to this map, and they just, and the last time these two teams faced, it was 3-1 to Oblivione, sending into the loser bracket in the spring series. We're now one map away from that being a repeat. And I'm sure are not looking for that to happen. They definitely are looking to turn the tides here. But that is going to happen after a short break, folks. So don't go anywhere. Grab a quick snack, and we will be right back with the conclusion. Yes, so we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hello and howdy. Welcome back. No?
Yes, and this is a
Please.
little look at what's happened so far in the series, and it's been crazy. It has not been your normal Overwatch. It is not normally, but it's been an absolute clash between two of the best contenders teams in EU, and I genuinely feel like it could go the distance still. Right? It's not set in stone. It is match point though, and Oblivione have that advantage.
Yeah, and as we said before the break, Gio, it is really kind of the history maker, this next map, because if EXO do get the win here at match point, it'll be 3-1, and yeah will be defeated at their feet, not having made any progress, as last time they did lose in the spring stage, where they also lost against EXO, and the scoreline was 3-1. So this is a really big defining moment for them. On our first day, we've got a lot of great plot points here on our first day of EU Contenders. This is fantastic. I'm not sure what map we're going into next, but on that map, I think we saw a lot of great things from both teams.
Yes, that's the thing, right? This is day one, and it's already getting off to an absolute banger. Banger after banger. We're seeing these teams just go absolutely tooth and nail to the wall, and they're showing us what they're capable of in this series. And, while it's not, over for the teams that win or lose, in this first day, and any stretch of the means, there's still plenty of time for comeback. But nobody wants to be the team that's coming back. Everybody wants to be the team that sails right through, that dominates the competition, and has a nice first day and getting a 2-0 in your overall series standings. And that's what these teams are fighting over right now. It's all about the standings and where you're placing there, because that's going to just put you in a great position once the playoffs come along.
Yeah, you want those high seedings. So far, I think that we've seen some ridiculous things. And, Midtown, was that a fair win, per se? Maybe not. So we really want to see a much stronger map win, I think, from yeah, because even though they won Midtown, it wasn't entirely convincing. Whereas I feel that for the side of EXO, Lijiang was somewhat close, but they seemed more dominant. And then, sorry, no, not somewhat close. It was pretty dominant for EXO, and that map was more close, but EXO did manage to come out on top. So we need to see a very convincing win here from yeah on our fourth map. Otherwise, the series looks more in the favor of EXO.
Well, nothing can be more straight and arrow than a good old push map. They can snowball very much in one side if things get rolling, and that's the where we're heading to next. Particularly, it will be Esperanza once things get rolling, and that's going to play into a lot of these kind of sombra plays that we've been seeing. And so far, May Moan is the kind of the player that's really been striking out in a lot of those instances. Now, I would be a madman to try and predict what yeah are going to come out with, right?
Yeah,
we've seen
really
we've seen them strike out with, I think, a different composition on every point, other than in Lijiang where they had Chasm. So they could even potentially bring some of those old strats back from Lijiang Tower, but that would be a risk, right? The only point in which this series has looked one-sided is when EXO had just completely read exactly what yeah was going to do in Lijiang. Since then, it's been extremely competitive and extremely back and forth. And so far, I gotta say, Isaac on the tank has been incredible. Has gotten a lot of value, even against veteran players like Vistola. And, well, now Chase is coming in. And Chase coming in is going to really mean that EXO are going to be playing this very quick diving composition with that Tracer Sombra. It's what you've seen in the World Cup, right? Except this time, it does look like Crispy potentially just speeding them out the gate. I'd be curious to see if they actually stick with this Lucio, though, to give speed to Diana. They are. Meanwhile, oh yeah, of course they are. Why wouldn't they be coming out? On Roadhog, Anna Bap with the May Junkrat. Of
They're
course they
playing their
are.
own game. They're playing their own game, Gio.
Look
Just
how
let
far
them play it.
behind Abs is.
They're playing their own game, and it may be a 4v5 at the moment. Yeah, Abs is a little far behind, but that is okay. But I do kind of like this. We have this stereotypical, very almost with the Lucio Ana backline. It's quite an early Overwatch 2 backline for this dive. Isaac already forcing away that Tracer. It's all about who finds this momentum first. The dive comes through. They're looking for that Roadhog. They get the Immortality Field out of the way, and at the moment, it's just like what we see at the beginning of these maps. We're just poking and prodding, seeing who will make the first move. As we do see Kaya falling early.
Yeah, and the concern is for Oblivione is diving into the Roadhog who can cancel you with the hook, right? That's why you see them play a little bit more carefully here.
There goes the hack, and there is a dive to follow up. Great synergy there on the side of EXO. They take out the Hog swiftly as well. And thing is, as much as the Hog and the Junkrat is funny and interesting, this is why these comps are considered standard, because they just work.
Yeah, and it's all down to that hack and dive follow up that Moon and Chase have looked incredible on. We saw it there how smooth that was, even when you're up against a Roadhog who can counteract it. Oh yeah, right now they're really needing to win this next fight, because if they don't, Oblivione unlock themselves that forward spawn. EMP.
Still. Oh, there it goes. They're gonna find the Baptiste almost instantly. Kaya pretty soon after as well, and they're getting closer and closer towards that forward spawn. There goes the butt scratch. You'll love to see that little scratchy butt.
That butt has been scratched, the itch has been resolved, but that puts Oblivione in an outstanding spot right now, very early on in this push map. We talked about the snowballing nature of it.
Yeah, and they use a Blizzard, but they're not the one with snowballs, because so far it is EXO. They use the Nano and the Primal for their tank to go deep. They do land the hook and take out Chase, so their tank has been taken out, as well as Psycho. So a lot of the members of this dive have been taken out, but I mean, not without a heavy distance.
That's the beauty of the forward spawn. You get to back up and still kind of take control of this high ground. Now, this next fight's probably going to take place at the midpoint. I almost got took out by Maimon there in the backline. Whole Hog here is likely going to be targeted right at Chase.
Oh, look at that follow-up. A good Suzu, though. They have the Whole Hog ready to go, locked and loaded. Is doing a lot of damage, creating a lot of space. Can take out the Ana. Does get hacked up, so has to be careful of that follow-up damage. A lot used there by Arya, but they do manage to start their push.
Yeah, Canale, they felt the power of the whole hog and nothing but the hog. And yeah, there was a brief moment there where you kind of walled off your own Roadhog's hook, but we don't need to talk about it because the fight was won on their side. Anyway, Kaya gets this beautiful chance now to set up for this tire wherever they see fit and try and nullify this EMP engage from Oblivion.
And they just go for the mate. I mean, confidence. Confidence is key. And if you're just going to EMP one person, then why not? And they follow up very, very confidently onto it. Finds a trade, though, taking out Crispy on that Lucio, who did have a beat, so not enough sustain if they need it, but it looks so far in a 4v2 situation that they likely have this fight in the bag.
It's far from Stove Tuesday, but Kaiser got pancaked as soon as that EMP came out. I've never seen a May die faster. Now, you didn't get too much done there from Oya, and this forward spawn's going to unlock. Kaya definitely needs to get this tire off because they didn't get that chance in the last fight. And good boy, that being Ampe, is going to look for a window. Tire comes out.
Yeah. They used the beat preemptively. But the tire is still there, but gets caught out by a monkey right-click of all things, which is kind of interesting. Here comes the Nano, though, onto Chase. The tire's gone, and now they can really start to apply the pressure. Tracer gets taken out early. They're using this window to the full of its capabilities, using the Primal as well. Chase just using everything that they have, really. They might look to switch onto something more Junk Queen-based, as the Queen is difficult to mess with her.
Oh, the Gracie got the Winston through the barrier there. That's the beauty of being able to throw the knife. Yeah, I actually like the Junker Queen a bit more. That show gives some sustainability for that moment where someone is dived. You give them that extra health momentarily. So I like this choice. Maymundo is going to have this EMP ready. It is
Already
going to
again.
be, yeah, that dive follow up. Will that show be ready to try and counteract it?
Being really, really careful with it.
Let's see how they're going for.
Set up. There it goes. Finds 3. And again, that may get squished. Nice and quickly. A hydraulic press is that dive. That's what I'm going to call it. Does trade it out for the honor, though. So things are suddenly turning in the favor of, oh, yeah, just a little bit. They take out the Baptiste, but not without their monkey falling, too. Oblivion, they really have to really kite back as much as they want here.
There you go.
But yeah.
Another butt has been scratched. And that's great because Oblivion, they did invest that EMP combo that they're very keen with, but the thing is the Kitsune Rush was able to get cancelled after, which just gave Isaac and Kaya just so much firepower. And now they're very close to touching and getting the lead. Oblivione, they've panicked and swapped onto the Orisa.
I mean, the Orisa is good. She does provide quite a lot of CC, so against something a bit more broadly like a Junker Queen could be quite a good pick and can be quite a good, you know, surveyor of fortitude, and we all can see that come into effect. Definitely off the back of Chase there.
Absolutely. I wasn't. To be clear, I wasn't. Talking smack about the pick onto the Orisa. We have seen the Orisa pick come out previously as well today, and you're right. It does work. We've not seen a lot of the Orisa come out in the recent history of Overwatch, but it can control what a Junker Queen is able to do.
No.
But I'm curious to see what Maimon does with this EMP now there is no dive.
Yeah, well, they use it, and it looks like they're going to try walk into it, try split off that Queen. Kaya has the tie-in, found the Lucio with it. And, I mean, the thing is, I feel that it's almost turned the tides a little bit. It felt like EXO early in this map were just so, clean and quick and consistent. And now it's kind of flipped where, oh, yeah, seem to be showing those traits as well.
Yes. And rightfully so. We're very close. Oh, that stagger's huge. That's going to allow them to get the lead. And it's going to be tough now for Oblivion to turn it around.
Oh, but Maimon is there, finds the trade. They have the Terror Surge available, Geo. Don't count your chickens before they've hatched. And they actually do manage to turn things around. Never doubt, Geo, ever again, the DPS line of EXO as they manage to turn things around and keep Arya at bay.
I will send my written apology on Twitter. But yeah, outstanding from Maimon. That's what you need from your players in those moments is someone to stand up and be individually impactful like that. Beautiful that Oblivion only have that on their side, and they really want to start securing a bit of a further lead, try and get this forward spawn, but it's blocked.
It is. We're going to see these ults a lot on the favor of, oh yeah, they have both support ults, and using, the Kitsune Rush and the window, it's a lot of damage at a very high rate of fire, and no wonder Chase got absolutely melted into a small puddle. They're going to use these support ults, hopefully snowball them their way into taking that lead, unless EXO can regroup in time.
Every time I look, Crumble, Maimon is either close to or has EMP. Lip be damned, Maimon is stepping up to be one of the star Sombras right now in Contenders, and that's exactly what you need when it's very much the meta.
Yeah, and there you go. There's the EMP. They traded out, though, as that Rampage on the other side found so damn much. Now, no follow-up for that EMP. And as the time slowly ticks down, it's all to play here for EXO. Crispy, Psycho, they're still alive, but the lead has been found already. Time ticking down, Jim. Wow. It does not look good.
For Oblivione, you're right, but they're in a great position right now as this timer is ticking over and we're going to get to overtime. However, when the chips are down, it is, to have a little bit more of a sturdier on-point advantage. Oblivione swapped over to the Queen to try and get that on their side as well. But they're being patient. They're not going in too deep, waiting for some ultimates because they have the time to do so.
Yeah, now it seems like a sort of a mirror in terms of compositions, both running something a bit more brawly, a bit more Junk Queen oriented, still running, of course, Wet Maimon on that Sombra. It's all to play for here over time. EXO, they want this clean 3-0. Gotta be careful of that Mei. Here comes the Kasunian Rush, trying to keep that Junk Queen alive. Careful of that window, careful of that damage. Still managing to stall out the point, but Kaiser does manage to find Crispy. Hack onto the Baptiste. If they can find the follow-up, it might be good.
Ooh.
But Kaya is there. They're now back from their vacation. Junkrat in the swimsuit, ready to go. It's summer. Lots of kills there for the Junkrat. And this series just got a lot more interesting.
Oh, you got to love it. For the majority of that map, Oblivione held on to a lead by a sliver, and in the final 30 seconds, oh yeah, sneak it through. Beautiful. And it just goes to show not only the adaptation of these teams, but the resolve, right? And Oblivione, specifically Chase, kind of struggled to adapt in the tank lineup once that Junker Queen had come out. The Orisa was working to a certain degree, but by that point, their pick of the Junker Queen nullifying the follow-up onto the hack targets in the dive, that had already done enough damage to the composition that EXO had. I mean, look, this is exactly what EXO were going to keep doing until they swapped on to the Junker Queen. Now, I wasn't counting. How many Maimon EMPs did we even see in this 8-minute push? Oh, Isaac.
I want the stats. I want to know how many EMPs, actually, because it seemed like way too many. Like, way too many. Maybe 10 EMP? I don't know. I can't tell. Kaya, though, in this last fight, this was really the nail in the coffin, I think, for that map. I managed to get, like, I think 2 or 3 picks there in the end. But yeah, now we're 2-2, Gio. Said it would go all the way, and
you can EMP someone as much as you want, right? But if they've got candles, then they can still have a light, and that light is their hope. And oh yeah, they held on to that hope beautifully. Wow. They've brought it to 2-2. No longer will it be a repeat of the last time these teams met. It is 2-2. Oh yeah, they're on track to possibly defeating Oblivione. But there's one more hurdle, one more step, and it's a control map. And what happened on the last control map, folks, it was one-sided for Oblivione. So was that a Lijiang issue? Was that a Oblivione reading Chasm's tank play issue? Whatever that is, I hope they found out what key special thing they need to be putting into their ingredients today to mix something up on control so that they can continue this journey and defeat Oblivione. And it will be another beautiful summer vacation location. It'll be Greece, it'll be Ilios. But you gotta think, Ilios, well, we're seeing Roadhog, right?
If we don't see Isaac on Roadhog, I'm gonna be very upset. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. I imagine, like, on paper, you think to yourself, okay, we could put Chasm back in, because Ilios is a very good ball map. You know, Ruins is good, Well is, I would say, probably the best ball map on Ilios, and then Lighthouse is fine as well for bull. But I think Isaac's been doing, I think you're looking at, that momentum that you built up, Isaac's doing well enough, and doing very well, actually. I say well enough. He's been doing so well that you just look at it and you go, no, we shouldn't switch it out. They're building up this momentum. If they keep it going, I think they have a good chance. And also, I mean, we've seen a Mei this entire time also, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I mean, some things never change. But both these teams, before this match, were in a 3-2. Both of them won that 3-2. Now, one of them needs to lose. The L needs to be taken by someone here. And if there's a pattern in how these maps have gone, and back and forth, a betting man may put this on EXO to clutch it out. But if Oye can defeat EXO here, they will win this match, they will come back from the brink, and they will prove that they ain't here to play They're here to win.
And it'll be
Vistola.
Ilios Ruins.
Yeah, sorry. I was just so excited to see
Oh, it's
Vistola
okay.
is back.
Yeah, it is. No, you know,
For
it's fair because it's exciting. Vistola's been a real nice, star player, and I think
yeah.
it's okay.
Yes, bringing Vistola back and looking to potentially run some Junker Queen shenanigans with Waymon. Sorry, I did it. I knew I was going to do it once.
You did it. You made the
Maymon.
mistake. They were doing
Maymon.
it on the mainstream as well. I saw, and one of the most mispronounced names in Tier 2
Yes.
history.
Well, they'll get their due in the air with a pocket from Crispy, and that's going to give Kaya a lot of issue. And there's not a whole lot to really deal with Maimon, and if they're completely free, then they're going to get up to some terrible shenanigans.
And even when contested on Midtown, we saw even then how good Maimon can be at just finding kills, finding a lot of damage, and finding a lot of aggression, already pushing into that core. And with a follow-up as well from that Tracer. This is synergy right here. EXO are not here to play around.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Going aggressive with that Echo. It's the way. And boy, they're keeping their tank Vistola alive just enough. Now,
Yeah.
they have... The point was swapped by Oh Yeah. So you're not kicking yourself if you're Oh Yeah. You've given yourself some time here. And, don't shrug at this. This could be the difference of, when things get to that 99-99 stage. So... it's all important here in the first map, in the first point of Ilios. Maimon is already going to have this duplicate, and there's a few good options. The Mei is a good option, the Grieco is a good option, but I think the Junker Queen with that shout and the ability to self-sustain and potentially get a Rampage, that is probably where Maimon is thinking.
Yeah. Looking for the copy. They're just giving a lot of space to and
Oh my god!
that is what you like to see. If you're playing that much Junkrat, then no wonder you're going to get kills like that. The res does come through, and now we see the copy onto the Junker Queen. Hopefully, Oblivione can keep this momentum going as they find the pick onto the Baptiste, catching that Junker Queen low. It's just a core inside of that small room. Hoping to hold things together. It's a 3-5 situation, so it does not look likely.
Blizzard coming out, however, caught in it.
Oh,
Can
good
that
teaser.
turn around the fight? It's not enough. It's too late. A late investment, and that's something you're going to wish that you were holding on to.
Yeah. Both rushes placed down as well, and it'll be guys that opens things up. Rampage cast finds 3. The follow-up isn't there, but oh my lord, is that a lot of space created.
Kazana's been staying alive by threads. Here comes the tire, seeking, searching, destroying.
I love this. I love Kaya on the Junkrat holding things together and just living forever. It's great. But not without a heavy cost though, I think, they committed a lot late, and because of that, a lot of stagger picks, they 85% for EXO. It's scary to look down.
They did commit a lot, but they have this window which is going to allow Hampy to really just sit back and kind of probably be greedy with it, I imagine, and kind of deal with Maimon. Isaac is going to need to force Canale's Suzu out as much as they can if they want to get the value from this Rampage.
Hopefully not fly off the map towards the Mega or something like that. That would be devastating to see. What timing from that stick, but does find the Lampers. That's a good recovery there from Baptiste. Maimon finding a lot of pressure and is going to get taken out. Not for Vistola, does find a trade. The Baptiste does fall, but just time ticking here for Arya as they seem to be doing a great job of just kind of existing on point.
They didn't even need to utilize their ultimates, and that's a key thing that EXO were trying to do, force those ultimates out. They didn't do it, they held on. And now, as we're ticking on in higher percentages, they're going to be able to rotate these ultimates and probably take us to a 99 hold here.
You can see Maimon flying in, EXO looking for that engage, but there's the window on the high ground, actually going to be forcing Maimon to have to use the copy. They use the Rampage too, but it's a good Suzu from the side of EXO that cleanses that anti-nade effect. Now, that copy, they have a window of their own. From the high ground, Maimon does manage to find a pick onto Kaya and pressure out Isaac just enough that they're forced back just a little bit. It's 97% for the side of yeah, but the flip does come through.
And it's ticking up. And oh yeah, they spent all their cookies. Now there's a possibility of touching. In fact, I'm not even sure if there is a possibility of touching. But if they can, they're very close to Kitsune Rush.
They are. Here comes the pulse bomb, not much, but both support ults online for EXO. This is really scary to look down. Both Kitsune Rush comes down, placed down onto the point. We see the Valkyrie come through as well from Crispy, and just the amount of AoE healing that EXO have at this moment in time, Gio, is too much. That yeah, they can't make a dent in any health pools whatsoever. Maymone does fall, but the Rampage is available just to finish things off if they need it. They're holding on to it, waiting for the right moment, but it's just stall after stall, and our first round does go in favor of EXO.
Yes, and it was not one-sided again. It was very back and forth, and we saw some incredible stuff. I mean, Kaya eliminating the Echo as the Junkrat. It's just proof to show that, I mean, you can OTP. You you don't need to always adapt. Sometimes you can just play the character that you are comfortable on. Heading into well, and yeah, Isaac's hovering it. We're all expecting it. It's been seen already. The Roadhog.
Oh.
Now, don't call me crazy. This is probably a hot take. I don't know. I think Life Weaver is great and well because your Roadhog can be greedy and step up at the well. Obviously, they're not doing it, and then get the hooks right at the well. And if they get boobed, then they've got safety. But they're not doing that. They're going for something a little bit more standard. And Vistola, basically, is the one that needs to be careful. If they get hooked into the pit, then it's all over for them.
Yeah, and it is all in this round for EXO. They want this bad. They want to open up this first day, this season, or the first day for Contenders EU with a bang here in our summer group stage. And already Maymone applying a lot of pressure, forcing the Suzu very early, which means that now a lot of follow-up can be had on this damage. They force away that recall, but Maymone is just relentless, has found the Mei. Isaac does manage to find the Junk Queen, though, and Kaya, that Roadhog Junkrat dynamic duo just seems to be rocking Oblivion's world. I just don't know what to think of it.
Right, I wanna deep dive into what just happened. Isaac hooked Vistola into the pit. Vistola then gracied the Roadhog and pulled the Roadhog into the pit. Both tanks eliminated each other into the pit. That was cinematic, to say the least.
Wow.
Vistola's actually swapped now again onto the Orisa, and it seems to be the go-to choice to try and counteract with Roadhog, because you just have that stability.
Yeah, forcing a lot of cooldowns, and so yeah, have to try save their Kiriko out. Copy available from Maymone, done so much damage already. Looks to copy the Hog. That self-heal quite good, but only 300 HP. Using the Kitsune Rush in that small room, looking to use it to walk outwards. And the tie was actually used on the copied Echo, which is kind of the best scenario for you in that situation. Oh, poor Psycho gets hooked into the well. So far, Isaac has found 2 well kills, and that is just, that fills my heart with so much happiness.
The whole Hog comes out and the Orisa is getting grinded, only surviving that long because of the Nano, and that swap is going to be very brief in the point control. And a lot of that is because Oblivione, they were really aiming for the Roadhog. The comms were all about melting the meatball, but the meatball was sturdy and too spicy for Psycho. And Oblivione, they will have this Terra Surge, but we've really never seen a Terra Surge come out and have great impact so far.
Yeah, Blizzard is really what we're going to be seeing doing a lot in this fight. That's what will have impact! Oh, and an icicle impacted into your skull, just tearing it right off of your neck. Kaiser has played Mei pretty much the entire series, and, I mean, somehow just does not disappoint in any scenario.
I mean, yeah, at this level you wouldn't. A very aggressive Blizzard, but right into Terra Surge, trying to, bring it back, but it's not gonna. We're at 90%. It's all coming apart here. Oblivione, they've really walked into the hard place between the rock.
They really have. And Isaac has found, I think, 4 kills in this fight on the Hog. A pick that we saw almost as a joke on Esperanza, which has really kind of been the nail in the coffin here on Ilios Well for Oblivion. We're seeing some stall coming out here from Exo. It could be possibly attainable, but it doesn't look like it. And holy smokes. I don't quite know what to think of it, but...
to 1-1.
Yeah.
All comes down now to Lighthouse. And, you know, it's not Ilios Well. Roadhog doesn't get as much value. Sure, you can play it coast and try and get hooks, but ultimately, it just ain't going to work out. And I'm curious, you know, oh yeah, have this beautiful ability of throwing a comp at the wall, and it almost feels like, you know, it's testing what sticks. Right now, going over to the Diva, but keeping the rest of it, you're imagining that, oh yeah, are going to utilize this to try and get just point control, where Maimon is going to take that kind of upper right side and take to the sky and control the open area. But let's find out what will happen here in our final point of this series.
And yet again, Kaya and Kazef, they're still on this Mei Junkrat duo, already looking for that Mei pressuring out, forcing the self-freeze. They're not able to find the follow-up on it, though. Really being careful is Maimon, doesn't want to tease too much, otherwise could get very swiftly dealt with by Isaac on this Diva. Point control is for Oye. They do have a lot better of it with that Baptiste they made. They're a little more bunkery. Kai gets taken out off guard, though, gets taken out of the fight. That Junkrat is gone. Now they spot the Mei alone on point as well. Force the cooldowns. Does manage to find another headshot onto the Tracer. Does get traded out, though. Trying to get that res. Great Suzu keeps the Mercy alive. And now with the Diva D mech, it looks like things are going in the favor of Exo. However, yet again, just like Runes, Oye managed to get point control first and get some much valued percentage.
Yeah, you are very happy if you're, oh yeah, sure you lose the fight, but 29% in a lost fight, you're in a great position. And the issue is for them now, is that rotating on the point is going to be a whole lot harder now that the map is controlled by Oblivione. Maimon has a duplicate as well, and we've seen them. The best duplicate we've seen on Ilios so far has been onto the Baptiste, actually. Ooh, very close.
Looking like the best Junkrat in tier 2 at the moment. Having to copy the Maimon, wanting to just keep the fight going, keep the fight alive. Really, more than anything, wanting to delay Exo from walking in, trying to match that percentage that they managed to get in the first fight. We see the nano boost being applied onto Vistola, pressured out by that Diva is Kanai, but managing to stay in this one. Mercy is going to be getting taken advantage, though, and they get the flip, unfortunately. Blizzard coming through, and this is looking great for, oh yeah.
Yeah, poor Crispy was just caught, you know, with no one to Guardian Angel to, and it just looked dire. And equal percentages so far with Oye in control, and Kaya's coming up to tire. They're not going to have it quite yet, but the main thing is these support ultimates for them are going to be able to hold in strong. Oblivione need to get a lot out of the small that they have, which is this pulse bomb, but of course that immortality field is just going to ruin all the chances.
Yeah, whenever I feel, oh yeah, especially with what they're playing, if they have point control, they just have a general sturdiness to them. With that Baptiste and the Kiriko and the Mei, they just are able to have a lot of good close holding abilities as they are now ticking up towards 70%. And with using Casino Rush on point, Oblivion, they have to give up that space.
Yeah, they have to, but they find Kaya. An opening as a risen for them.
They use the window, though, and are you joking me? Can Kaiser hit any more nutty headshots, Gio? As Exo, they look to have to get staggered out, which, when they're approaching last fight territory, it's all to play for here, and there's only Maimon on point.
This might be it. This could very well be it. Maimon's alone. Kaya comes up massive.
Finds 2. Here's the tire. Just to finish things off. Oh, doesn't manage. Oh, the copy there from Maimon just to dodge that tire. Beautifully done. Manages to charge up the bomb just in time. Doesn't find any kills off it, but it's good stuff here from this Echo player. Kaya, though, is there. Has been able to counteract this Echo and everything that Exo have tried to throw at it. consistency will throughout as the Junkrat, an unorthodox team. Oh yeah, get their victory in a 5-map series here.
Unorthodox as it was resilient. It was a comeback. Oh yeah, we're on the brink of losing, but then they get 2-map wins in a row. Beautiful. Maimon here is going to get the play of the game. They played their absolute heart out this entire series. An absolute star player, but it is, oh yeah, they are going to win this 3-2, changing the narrative from the last time these teams played against each other. And yet again, a team getting vengeance against a team that knocked them in the playoffs. So, if anything, is the story of the day. It is vengeance. It is returning and getting back at those that have done you wrong in the past. And oh yeah, man, it was chaotic, but in a Picasso art kind of way.
It was like a chaotic, but in a I'm gonna play May on Circle Royale kind of way, or use May Junkrat to counteract Echo Mercy kind of way. I just think more than anything, oh yeah, it's just they have a level of chaoticness, like you say, and pop off ability that you get with those kind of players. You know, plenty of us have encountered. A lot of the time, it is normally like a Junkrat player, something like that, where they're just playing it in every situation, and they just find picks. That is because at the end of the day, if you find picks, you will win fights. And we saw the DPS line of simply do that, and that is what will lead them to victory, and that's what led them to victory in this series.
I mean, this match, it was Goliath versus Goliath, and here's your spread of games in the round 2, and everything is complete. And this was the only match that went the distance. The rest were all 3-1. There's a real pattern there by the looks of it.
Well, the only map that went 3-2 in our day.
In round 2. In round 2.
In round 2. Sorry. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh yeah. And etc. But here is a little look at the EMEA, the EMU apparently. The
EMU.
Yes.
EMU
the
round
EMEA standings, and you have the top 4 spots looking like Twisted Minds with the best performance of the day, dropping only a single map, and that's what you expect. Triple Esports actually in second place, joint with !play. They only dropped 2 maps, and then it's in fourth place after that win there. And Oblivione were sent into the middle of the pack, right?
Yeah.
But this is only day 1. Right, there is so much for these teams that are, lower down or in the middle of the pack to start to get back, right? Because, the journey doesn't end at the first step. The journey ends when the journey ends. Yeah. The journey starts at the first step. So this is only the beginning of what these teams are going to be capable of. And boy, was this a first step or not? 3-2 to in Oblivione, which means both these teams, they only had 3-2s today.
Yeah, they played a lot of Overwatch, like 15 maps. That is so much Overwatch in one day. So good stuff from both teams, and it's been a very exciting day, both on this channel and the previous channel, as well as on the main broadcast. It's been a great day so far, Joe. Very good day for contenders.
Yeah, well, it may be over for EMEA today, and tomorrow will be Oblivione being showcased, and so will Sheer Cold up against opponents throughout. But also, the day isn't over. NA is going to be experiencing their round 1, of course. And here's the EU time, so yeah, 2 a.m. So if you're on gamer time, then you can stay up and watch these. They'll be live on 3 separate Twitch channels: /Rift OW2 and Timeless OW. So check those out. Which is at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That is for any for any of the NA people watching. But this has been an incredible day and an outstanding match. And what I'm just excited because the prospect of these two teams having a rematch at some point is in the future, right? I mean, yeah, Ex Oblivione may have lost this time, but they were looking clean. Do not count them out at any rate. But that is the end of this broadcast of day one of this timeless project, and giving more streams to tier 2 teams and allowing them to express themselves and get their brand out there. My name is Gio, been casting for it today alongside Crumble, and if I was to thank all the people behind the scenes, I would need
Hell
a
yeah.
massive list
So
and
many
probably
people.
half an hour. There was so much heart and soul going into this, so I just want to shout them out. A lot of efforts went into it, so big
Yeah.
up the prod for
Yeah,
sure.
because we're the faces, but really we shouldn't have any credit. It's the people behind the scenes. It's always the people behind the scenes. They are, in my eyes, they're the true superstars.
Yes,
So
we're just the haha goofy guys that say words.
yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
nonetheless, that is the end of the broadcast. And folks, check out the NA streams later. But don't forget to laugh loud and love yourself, folks. Good night from EU.